Hi, I'm Cynthia Schiller. Please like and subscribe. So, lunch break. I have this one person I really want to respond to, and it's how the butterfly effect can affect things in life. And this person, I really enjoy this person because she had responded to one of my videos, and I'll tell you what she said, and then I responded back and said I'd like to go a little more in depth with it, and then she came back like really genuine. And she said it's not about who's right or wrong. She realized that maybe it was like a little trigger that something I said because of what other people say. Like maybe you said something wrong. And a lot of times we do go through this, like, what did I do wrong? Did I say this? And it's not about who's right or wrong. It's just a perspective I want you guys to see. I also will share a video in the comments below that go to this where a tiny grain of sand can lead to a hurricane. So just one little uh, granule of sand can cause this horrendous storm. And that's kind of symbolic of what is happening in life. So it's not always where this little one thing wrong said is going to destroy an entire relationship, but it does take it through the twists and turns. So let's say, all right, we've all said something wrong every now and then. We just have, whether it was reactive, we could have reacted in a better way. Don't feel at fault for that because you shouldn't have gone through the abuse anyways. But if you say something, you know, and it will change a little bit, just a little grain of sand, to where if I'm like, that dress makes you look kind of chunky and I hurt your feelings, okay? And then how that's handled makes a difference. And let's say I said the dress isn't as flattering as it could be. Okay, I say a little nicer, but it still hurt your feelings. Okay, so I could either say more things like you're beautiful and whatever. Somehow you try to correct it, or you leave it undone. It's still going to affect that person. So that person might call a friend. So now this is something new because that one little piece of sand, which is the communication, triggered a phone call. So they're having a deeper relationship. But this friend has a bunch of sand going on in her life. It's going to cause a disconnect between these friendships, might lead to that calling a different friend or going to the store, maybe getting in a car accident, or maybe talking to the cashier. Cashier handles it nicely, cheers this person up. So this person feels good. This person feels good. They're making new connections. Things just like snowball, just like that grain of sand, eventually picking up speed and causing whirlwinds. And it just changes things. One little thing. It can change how you feel about yourself. One little thing sometimes builds up too. So if it's just a little piece of sand, if there's too much, it starts to weigh down the relationship. And it could be the most minute thing. There was one time with my daughter. I hate to say it. I was caught up in my own thing, and there was something important to her, and I was dismissive. I regret it to this day. So I have regret. She didn't say anything about it for years. So she was building up kind of like animosity towards me, and it affected our relationship years later. Um, One little thing, and we sometimes think that things are going good, but there's that whirlwind building up. And it's called the butterfly effect because every little thing, like I had mentioned before in a different video, my lips were chapped. Maybe a conversation I had, I was licking my lips too much. So now but it saved my life. If I didn't have that conversation, would my lips have been chapped? Would I reach for my chapstick and have the light turn green, but I'm still reaching for my chapstick, which delayed my start time, and also the timing of the lightning striking, it would have hit my car. But I had just enough delay. It hit ground right in front of me. Just every little thing affects things. Even minute things, little things. The foods we eat can affect us. Might take a long time for it to affect us. It's just a real concept of the butterfly effect. I moved something, dust flies somewhere, and who knows, maybe it can clog a plug or cause an electrical fire or just whatever little things. There's so many different scenarios in life. So this person was really healthy on how they responded to me. That's another reason I definitely want to address this person, because they deserve it. But so this person, just because you say one thing wrong, if you say one thing wrong, all of a sudden they get defensive and weird. I think that that's a red flag. Now, we all have triggers. We all have triggers because of all these grains of sand that have been deposited into us over our lives. And we're going to react. We're going to, if we feel unbalanced, we're going to lean more to the anger. If we rebalance, it is a butterfly effect. And you know, we want people to clearly communicate that something's making them uncomfortable. People don't do that. People are too afraid of the outcome. You know, if I tell you, look, you're hurting my feelings, a narcissist will use that against you. Like, oh, I know how to hurt your feelings. Or they don't care, so it hurts your feelings more. Every little interaction changes just a little bit of the physiological response. I'm a new teacher. I'm doing professional development right now. And even just little things are kind of stirring me up today, because it's a whole new computer. I can't find things. I got to be polite and wait for a response from somebody. And it sounds stupid, but it's causing a little kind of like anxiety in my day. You know, will that change? Hopefully not what I eat today, my sleep patterns, just because I had to wait to talk to somebody. You know, like it affects us. It just does. So a big red flag when somebody says, just because of the way you said something, right? Now, what this person was saying to me was basically like, come on, one little thing, people need to be stronger. Like, is that going to really destroy a relationship? Not always, but it's going to put grains of sand. It's going to stir things up a little bit more. And if you handle it right, both parties handle it right. One is receptive to the way it's being handled, and the other is productive in the way it can kind of rebalance and settle out that sand. But with these narcissistic relationships, things stir up so much. And then a lot of times it's false promises, but whether it's a healthy relationship or narcissistic, you rebalance it. So it's healthy if you rebalance at the right time. But the toxic relationships are roller coasters. I mean, they're extreme to where you're having a breakdown. You know, the narcissist might be slamming doors. Or sometimes in reactive abuse, you might, it's a roller coaster. So I'm going to share that video of that little grain of sand causing an entire hurricane. And that's kind of what happens in life. It can cause extreme changes, whether it's destructive like a hurricane, or, you know, maybe piles of sand building up this beautiful hill. Sometimes it could be a positive, but even if it did that, that's going to change the shade. That's going to change the way the vegetation grows. And it can be just a little piece of sand, or a little word, or even just a little look. You know, have you guys ever, I don't know, maybe been to the store and somebody like the cashier just looked at you, or the helper, retail sales rep, they just look at, and you're like, I don't even want to deal with this person, over just to look. We didn't take the time to really know what this person was going through. Or sometimes, you know, that guy's a pervert. No, he has something in his eye, but it affects the way we handle life. So I'm on my lunch break, so I have to keep it a little bit short. But basically, this person is like, you know, one thing wrong said should not destroy a relationship. Very, very true. It shouldn't, but it does affect things. It's the butterfly effect, you know, because everybody has all these little storms. And when they crash into each other, it changes things even just a little bit. And just at like 1 second delay, or it was probably 5 seconds, that 5-second delay reaching for my chapstick, that changed a big outcome. So if all those things didn't come into my life and I had that extra 5 seconds and went forward, it would have been a whole different path. And that's why be careful in reactive abuse. Stay true to yourself. Don't give the narcissist ammunition to use against you. You know, because now, yeah, you are a bit, you know, they're calling you a bitch, or you're so disorganized because you throw shit and whatever. But don't give them the ammunition to justify in their minds their actions. And we should leave when it's unsolvable. But like this beautiful woman said, you know, people should be stronger. And she's kind of like having a little trigger from what I said. Somebody must have said, you probably said something wrong. You probably did something wrong. And a lot of us had that guilt, you know. I can relate to that with my first one. He wanted to postpone the wedding, and he couldn't tell me why. Disrupted the whole foundation of our family. I already sent out wedding invitations, had my bridal party, and it's like, what's going on? And you're under that time crunch. Like, what's going on? I'm supposed to start school. I don't have anybody to babysit. Is this like a precursor to calling off the whole relationship? He couldn't tell me why he wanted to postpone it. And just that poor communication. Maybe we could have saved what we had. Maybe there was, you know, that God or whatever was watching out for me. Maybe that little stir up. It changed a lot of lives. It changed a lot of lives. My mom for helping, which was wonderful. My parents for helping pay for some of these custody battles. My daughter, what her life was like, the friends that she made, it changed their lives. The extended families, like it's one tiny thing. What would have happened if we got married? Would all this stuff have happened? No. There's a lot of things in my life that would not have happened. Was it a blessing? It was lonely, like I said, somewhat abusive, but it was kind of like toughen up, you know, like there are some things that we need to forgive or overlook. But the true colors came out after I moved out. Like, it was really bad. But I just wanted to explain in depth a little bit more this butterfly effect and how it affects relationships. If it's handled the right way, it's okay. But when you're starting to get into this roller coaster, if you guys were on a roller coaster all day, every day, you'd feel like dizzy and wanting to vomit in your stomach, and you'd be irritated and you're not getting your sleep. That's what the relationship with a narcissist is extreme roller coaster. Roller coasters are fun for a little while, and unless you're terrified of them, but you can't live on a roller coaster. It takes all the fun out of it to where it's misery. And it's like the Chinese water torture. You know, if I kind of use a little water gun to shoot you right here with a water droplet, oh gosh, you know, it's kind of fun, irritating, but fun. But if I did that all day, like that's what the Chinese water torture is, until your brain feels like it's about to explode. Little doses are good. The narcissist does it to the extreme. And we have to forgive so often just to make these work. But then anytime we stand up for ourselves, we get abused. And then we've been through all this abuse. So, you know, it's reactive. It's a storm going on. You know, this lady, you know, was trying to have honest, open communication, and that's the best that you can do. So if you're doing that, it's not your fault if things went wrong. You know, keep doing research, learning how to communicate better. It's sad. Sometimes things are worded the wrong way. Things do change how people feel. I did a video yesterday for my professional development where one lady was asking another teacher for help, and she said, it is easy for you. You're creative. Now that it's easy. Okay. It's easy for you. You're creative. 6 words. Ate this man up. It's easy for you. You're creative. That set him off inside. Why? She thought she was trying to be polite and acknowledging that he's creative, but what she did is she took away all his hard work, took away all his pride, where he's like, it's not just easy. I did all this work. I went through trial and error and I put the effort in. And instead of her saying, I'm jealous or I'm too lazy to do what you do, she turned it on him and discredited him. It's easy. You're just creative. You don't work at it. As opposed to, I'm jealous. I'm too lazy. Or I fail at that. Whatever. She could say, I fail at that. Like, way to go. You did a great job. But communication does matter. So keep learning. We all have our faults. We all do. But as long as you tried your best, that's all you can ask. And if everybody would try to learn how to communicate. So sorry that was a trigger to this person. But give yourself a big hug as long as you tried. People are a little too soft. But that's because of all the triggers, and everybody's triggering everybody in these. It's getting worse because we're all on edge. But don't think it's your fault if you tried your best, you know? So big hugs. Thank you for that comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day.